Hi everyone, hope you all are doing well. Welcome to the YouTube channel of Ayush Paper. This is Aishwarya, the artist and the content creator behind Aishwarya Expressions, and today we are gonna create a food illustration of mangoes with acrylics. So I hope you're ready with your materials. Let's go! I'm using the 7 by 7 inches Acrylic sketchbook by Ayush Paper because paper matters. All the other materials, the brushes, the colors and everything else is mentioned in the description box below. So here we have this 7 by 7 inches Acrylic sketchbook by Ayush Paper, which is taped from all sides so that we have a beautiful and fine edge at the end. The reason why I am using Ayush Paper Acrylic sketchbook is that I tried a lot of other papers and none of them suited the type of work I do. The main issue that I was facing with other brands acrylic paper is that none of them were able to retain a thick layer of paint with one stroke. As a result, I had to apply paints in repeated strokes to get the desired result, and that also if I was lucky enough to cover the pencil marks properly. Ayush Paper acrylic sketchbooks have thick papers that are wonderfully textured, that are able to keep the thick layers of paint intact and retain their value. So after we are done with sketching the basic outlines out, we have to begin with the first layer of the whole painting. While using acrylics, it is recommended to start with darker colors first and then gradually move on to lighter ones. This helps us in bringing out the details of the painting more prominently while maintaining the depth where needed. And this is made clear in this video itself, so make sure you watch this video till the end to clarify the process. For the first layer, I'm using Prussian blue mixed with a bit of black for the background and this mixed with white for the upper part of the background. Sap green and Prussian blue for the leaves, a dark shade of yellow ochre for the basket and chrome yellow for the mangoes. The first layer is just about covering the white paper. You just have to make sure that all the white portions are covered. We will also add a mixture of sap green and lemon yellow for the leaves. Food illustration is a type of art that depicts food, drinks, or any other edible objects as the medium or subject matter of an artistic work to create an attractive visual display or even to convey a message. Food illustration can also be used for decorative purposes for your homes and even for fundraisers. I personally believe that art can help you find a greater appreciation for food. The medium for food illustration is not only limited to acrylics. Just like you are using acrylic paints, you can also use samples of food wrappers and even scrap papers to create food illustrations. Acrylic food painting is just a creative outlet for artists of all levels, and this is why acrylics are in high demand for food illustrations. Food illustration is also not limited to realism, just like we are doing here in this video. You can do food illustration in any style you want as long as it serves your purpose. There are a lot of cartoonists who create food illustrations for advertisement, fundraising campaigns, and similar other activities. And when we are done with the first layer, we will wait for the first layer to dry first and then start with the second layer. For the second layer, we will start with the mangoes and will focus on making them more realistic. We are using yellow ochre for the darkest part of the mangoes, orange and chrome yellow then, and lemon yellow for the brightest portions. And while we are working on the second layer of the mangoes, let me remind you to check out the Instagram page of Ayush Paper, where you will find art tutorials, art tips and much more, and also get to know other amazing artists who are happily using Ayush Paper. I'm sure you would love to be a part of the Ayush Paper family. Also, do not forget to check out their website www.ayushpaper.com if you are looking forward to get these sketchbooks for yourself. And if you're doing so, do not forget to use the code ASH10 to get a 10% discount on all Ayush Paper sketchbooks. You can also check out my website, that is www.ashwaryaexpressions.com, where you will find eye-soothing artworks for your home and for gifting your loved ones. Do not forget to sign up for the newsletters to get an additional 10% off over the sale that is already going on my website. So we are continuing with the second layer of the mangoes, and as I said, we will be using yellow ochre for the dark areas while we will be using lemon yellow for the brightest areas. We will also be adding certain patches of green in some of the mangoes just to denote the stage where they are not totally ripened, and this will make them look more realistic. The only thing that you have to keep in mind while painting these mangoes and trying to make them look real is proper blending of the colors. Perfect blending will make the flesh or the skin of the mangoes look uniform, just like they actually are in real, and this will make the food illustration more appealing. While painting each mango, make sure you don't forget to create the shadow of the adjacent mango, as they are kept all together side by side in this picture. Also keep in mind that the yellow will be more orangish while painting the flesh and less orangish while you are painting the skin of the mangoes. If you are still struggling with food illustrations and want to know more about them, we have got you covered. Head over to the latest blog by Ayush Paper that contains all that you need to know about food illustrations. You can also post all your queries, or rather all art related queries, at ask.ayushpaper.com, where you will be answered by other artists who know about or have an experience related to your question. We will keep on focusing on the proper blending of paints for the mangoes. We have to make sure that the lower portion of all the mangoes are darker, which gradually becomes lighter as one moves up because of the light falling on the fruits. The mangoes on the upper portion of the basket will also contain the shadows of the leaves that surrounds them. We will now move on to the second layer of the leaves surrounding the fruits. Painting these leaves is about applying vertical strokes of paints all over the leaves as shown in the video. The colors that we will be using for the second layer of the leaves are sap green, lemon yellow, chrome yellow, a bit of Prussian blue and yellow ochre for the portions where we want to show that the leaves are a bit dried up. We will also apply black paint to the darkermost areas of the painting, just like the space in between the mangoes or the dark space in between the fruits and the basket. And after we are done with the second layer of the leaves, we will move on to the second layer of the basket. The colors that we will be using here is yellow ochre, white, burnt sienna or brown, dark brown, and even black for the darkest of areas. And since the basket is circular, we will have to draw curved lines along the walls of the basket, just like we painted lines along the leaves. We will apply a mixture of yellow ochre and white to create the bindings of the basket. And the last thing that we will have to do is to add some highlights to the mangoes with white acrylic paint. This will make the mangoes look fresh and more fleshy. Highlights can make any object look shiny. Thus, adding highlights to the fruits will also make them look very juicy and delicious. To add the highlights, all that we have to do is to take a thin brush which is almost dry with some white paint on it and dab the brush to those areas of the mangoes which are the brightest. We can also add some similar dots with lemon yellow and yellow ochre to create some droplets on the mangoes. Lastly, we will use grey or a mixture of white with a bit of black to make the upper part of the background a bit lighter. And now that we are done with creating the food illustration, it's time for us to peel off the tapes, and this, according to me, is the most satisfying process. And after we are done, this is how it will look. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video and learned something new from it. Let us know in the comment section if you have any queries related to this video. If you have painted with me, do not forget to share that with us on Instagram by tagging us at Ayush Paper and Aishwarya Expressions, because we are eagerly waiting to see your recreations. Let us know what food illustrations you are going to create next. And that's all for today. Signing off, Aishwarya from Aishwarya Expressions. Have a nice day.